All right, let me go ahead and warn you right now. There's probably going to be some language in this video. I'm going to use the S word. That's right. Shut up. Because I'm outside. The weather's freaking perfect and phenomenal. And Lala and Big Head are out here running around. And they're going to make noise. And so they're barking over there. I got the microphone on. You'll be able to hear me. I'm not worried about that. But when they come over to this side and they start barking at the neighbors, just forgive me. If you report me to PETA, well, shame on you. If you're a part of PETA, well, pray for you. Um, I'm not saying we shouldn't treat animals well. We should, but you know what? Telling a dog to shut up is not what I consider abuse. So I've actually used it on my kids probably a couple times. Not the first lady because she got some heavy cast iron. But today, I want to talk about something I've been chewing on for just a little bit. I mean, old. I'm old. I'm old. I own it. What, 54? If you text back or if you leave a comment that says you're not old, that means you're older than me. You're just trying to justify that you're not old. But guess what? We're old. 54, right? It's a long time. If I was a classic car, I'd be crushed and sent to junkyard because nobody took care of me. I didn't take care of myself. So, what? If I was a classic car, if I was a car that was loved by their owner and taken good care of, I'd be a vintage car ready for restoration, right? We all need some restoration. I know I do. Sorry. It just kind of hit me sideways. You know what didn't hit me sideways? It's me, Rita, right here. Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust hits me, but they don't hit me sideways. They hit me square up in the jaw, and I'm happy for it. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. But anyway, where was I? This weather's so nice, right? You got the covered there. Got my little wood. That fresh wood is from the storm. It's not oak. It's from a tree the kids climb in all the time. The grandkids, not the kids. They're a little too old for that. But the grandkids climb in, and it went down, and so we cut it all up. Chief and the family. I wasn't here. I was at work. Chief and the family cut it all up, stacked it all up. We use it in the burn pit, the bonfire pit, right over there next to the cover porch. It's my vice. Everybody has vices. This one's mine. Did I mention the weather is perfect? I'm in the shade, and it's just crisp. Almost to the point where I'm like, woo, woo, but it's not. I'll stay here long enough for a good wind comes. My shop is right over there. First Lady's wind chimes are over there. We get some wind, we'll hear those. Those are always nice in the background. Anyway, 3.5 minutes and I haven't even talked about the content. So I'm old. We have we have covered that. I used to be young. I know. You might not have known young comes before old. Old does not always follow young if young is too dumb. When I was young, and see, this didn't hit me. I always said this when I was younger, but it really didn't affect me until I got older and the reality set in. So when I was young, I had to be the baddest, the bestest, the mostest. Whether it's doing wrong, I had to be the biggest one doing wrong. Whether it's doing right, I had to be the biggest one doing right. When it's doing work, I had to be the hardest worker, first one there, last one done. When I had to be lazy, when I wanted to be lazy, I had to be the most lazy, doing the least amount of movement, almost to the point of shallow breathing. So I didn't breathe that much. I did. And not only did I have to be all those things to myself, I had to make sure that you knew that I was the best or the worst or the this or the that. If we got into an argument, I would fight you to death because I had to be right. Even if I wasn't, even sometimes, I'm going to be honest, sometimes I would I would pick a fight just to have a fight so I could win a fight. I'd take the side you were not on and I would fight. Period. Sometimes I get into an argument with somebody, and halfway through the argument, I'd figure out I was wrong. I would. I'd figure out you were right. I actually had a better argument that you could use to defeat me on your point. And I would sit there and argue with you, knowing I was wrong, almost, almost, almost nudging you into the direction of having an argument to beat me. And then when you use that argument, if you were smart enough to use that argument, when you use that argument, I would have an argument to come against you, even though I was wrong as wrong. Because I had to be right. I had to be this. I had to be that. I had to chase fame or infamy. It didn't matter. I had to have value externally. No. All of this was before social media took off. Right? So I didn't have that dopamine rush of putting things out there and getting lots of likes or lots of sad faces or lots of angry faces or lots of this and that and lots of shares and have all of that. I just had my circle, and I was ever trying to expand my circle. Why? Not because I wanted life to be better, not because I wanted your life to be better, but because I wanted people to talk about me forever. I did. I wanted to be right. Now that I'm an old man, I don't care if I'm right. Well, I do. I care if I'm right. But I'm not willing to invest a precious resource that I have, that I waste far too often, to prove I'm right. I'm getting to a point. I'm not there yet. I'm still childish, not childlike, but childish. Where my I want to be right comes up. I want to win the argument comes up. Especially when I know I'm right. But I'm getting to the point to where, you know what? I don't need you to know I'm right. It is not necessary for me to need to be validated by somebody. Now, I sit here on social media talking to you, hoping I get views, hoping I get likes and maybe some shares, hoping I reach people. That's true. But you know what I don't do? I don't chase my numbers. I don't. I don't look to see my fame. I don't. What I do is I hope that I can share a story or promote a cigar or a product that will give you a moment of peace, and I will encourage you, because it's truly not about me. It's my hope that I help Chief through growing up and give him opportunities to enhance who he is and maybe be a part of that through the channel and allow him to move farther than I did. that resource that I waste, that are precious to me, that is more and more precious to me than it used to be. When I was young, I didn't care. Actually, I didn't like it at all. It was not a resource that I needed. Kind of like when you played those video games on the computer in the early 80s, where if you didn't pick up what's his name's book of whatever, which seemed like it made no sense, and you went through this journey of doing all these adventures, and then at the very end, when you're about to fight the big guy, if you didn't have that one thing that you should have picked up that didn't look important, you can't win. This is that thing. I didn't need it, didn't want it, didn't care about it, I didn't respect it. Wasn't necessary. Now, I seek it like golden diamonds. It's peace. I'm looking for peace. I want to do right by the world. I want to make a difference. But I don't want to fight. I don't want to argue. I don't want to deal with confrontation. I don't even care about traffic. I just make sure I got extra time to get where I need to go. So I don't get frustrated about traffic. I don't go places sometimes. I don't do things sometimes because it just seems like it's too much work. I don't chase to find the smallest checkout line at Costco. I was there yesterday. I had 3 items: freaking chicken, some breakfast bars that I eat at work, and some peanut butter pretzels. Man, I love me some pretzels filled with peanut butter, and they're a whole lot cheaper at Costco than they are there. I have a little snack of them about every night sitting in front of the TV watching Storage Wars, American Pickers, or Forged in Fire. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. But there was lines. And this is actually why this video come about. It brought it to my mind again. Standing in line, about to get in line. It's older man and lady, my age, a little older. Well, trying to get into line, and you know Costco, there's lines everywhere. And they were sitting there vacillating which line was faster and slower. And this little lady, she had half a dozen items. And she saw that they were kind of choosing between, and so she looked at them and she goes, "Can I go there?" And the guy just kind of dismissed her and said, yeah, go. And so she went, and that was the fastest line. And so he sits there loudly and says, "Well, we can't get in this line because somebody cut the line." And I'm sitting there going, "You jackwagon. You just told her to get in line, loser." And then he gets in line, and all he does is whine and complain for 10 minutes. Yeah, I was in line for 10 minutes. He just, rock. And I'm sitting there going, you know what? I'm in a line. They're in a line. You're so worried about being first, it ruins the whole time you're there. We'll walk out at the same time, and I won't be as stressed. He even walked out a little bit before me, and he was in line doing the little. He was a couple carts ahead of me when you have to give him your receipt. They scrap through the receipt. He was still grumping. I'm sitting there going, "You have ruined your day for 60 seconds, 90 seconds advance, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, let's say 5 minutes. How ridiculous is that? Your peace for the next hour is worth 5 minutes of inconvenience? It's not even raining on you. It's not cold. Nobody's shooting at you. You ain't got rabid dogs eating your legs. I mean, you're standing in a freaking line at Costco with what I expected to be his wife. So, I mean, what's the big deal?" So, I used to look at old men and say, man, they ain't doing nothing. Man, they just sit around. They walk so slow. They don't talk much. Psh, not me. When I get old, I'm going to be a mover. I'm going to be a shaker. I'm going to be a get things done. I'm going to this and that. I'll have money. I'll have money. I'll have time. I'm going to do things. Those old people, they just don't understand. And now that I'm one of those old people that the young people are looking at, I look at them and say, boy, howdy. They're moving them feet, but they're on a treadmill. They're giving up so much peace for so much frustration. Man, if only they'd slow down. So that's just my ranting. I hope today, my demographic, 45 to 60 something. That's what YouTube says, and I'm tons into that. When Chief came on the scene with Chief Talk years ago, I changed our demographic where we added the 24 to 42 or whatever it was, the lower demographic. We jumped up about 20% of our views are from the younger people. And they're watching Chief Talk. They're not watching Bob the Cigar Guy. So I'm talking to the people on the end of the peace spectrum. Not at the end of life, but we're leaning more towards I'd rather have peace than I'd rather have rightness. Find peace. Hoard peace. Keep peace. Don't become comatose. Don't go stagnant. Fight what needs to be fought, but pick your fight. Save your powder, right? Don't just punch at windmills. Just, pick the things you need to pick and do the things you need to do, but when being right is more important than the person that you're trying to win over, or being right is more important than your mental health and well-being, please evaluate. Because I bet 9 times out of 10, you need to let that thing go. That's what I believe. So, and I believe you're awesome. I believe the world's a better place because you're here. I do believe that. I believe I love you. I really do. Looking forward to tonight because I think we're going to put some fire on some of those while I put some fire on some of these. Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Never hit you sideways. Hit you square in the jaw. And you'll say, thank you. Thank you very much. So I'll see you later. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Later, Tater.